KOSPI closed flat. Ignore it. The index is noise. The real signal is a massive capital rotation away from semiconductor chips and straight into physical AI infrastructure. This is your leading indicator for the US Open. Let's get into it.
Right, the index itself barely budged, up a negligible 0.07%. But that is not the story. Look at the heat map. You see those bright spots? Specific upstream nodes are lit up, showing serious signal activation. This is exactly where the smart money was hiding today.
So we're zeroing in on these alpha nodes. These are the key upstream suppliers that are completely decoupling from the main index, and they are validating our core thesis in real time. First up, Hyundai Electric. Signal activation confirmed, up a massive 11.07%. Now, this wasn't random. This was a direct reaction to record Q4 earnings. And get this, they were driven by a surge in ultra-high voltage transformer orders coming directly from North American data centers. The demand vector is crystal clear.
And now, look at this, Eugene Robot popping 22.20%. This kind of outlier performance is shouting that institutional capital is chasing the physical AI narrative hard. The company made a strategic pivot to B2B autonomous solutions, and the market is rewarding it. This isn't just some theme stock. This is a core infrastructure play.
And just so you know, these aren't isolated incidents. Look at Doosan Enerbility. They're a key player in nuclear power, and they activated at plus 7.19%. This confirms that the demand is sector-wide for the sheer power that's required to run these new AI systems. Okay, so we've seen the what. Now let's talk about the why. Because what we're witnessing here is a fundamental market shift. Capital is physically flowing away from the abstract world of cyber AI and into the very tangible world of physical AI. So what is physical AI? Well, it's the next phase. It's where software intelligence finally gets a body. It's moving beyond just creating digital outputs like text and images to solving real-world problems in manufacturing, in logistics, in energy. It is the fusion of mind and machine. What you're looking at here is the perfect visual for this paradigm shift. You can think of cyber AI as the blueprint, maybe locked in concrete. Physical AI, on the other hand, is the raw power that's breaking through, turning that digital idea into a physical reality. The evolution couldn't be clearer. For years, all the capital chased cyber AI, which was focused on moving bits. The new capital flow, the one that matters now, is going into physical AI, the companies that are building the hardware to move atoms with intelligence. This signals a fundamental change in how corporations are spending their money. There are three core mechanisms driving this whole thing. First, perception and action have finally converged. Robots aren't just dumb machines anymore. You can think of them as moving AI servers. Second, the real-world data they collect creates an unbelievably powerful competitive moat. And third, let's be honest, economic pressure from high labor costs is forcing companies to adopt these solutions just to survive. The ROI is undeniable. So let's build the bridge. We're connecting these signals from the SEOUL session directly to actionable intelligence for the New York Open. This is the SEOUL New York Bridge, and it's how we get an edge. This table lays the vector out for you. The signal from Hyundai, which we know is validated by North American orders, points us directly to assets like GE Renova and Eaton. The huge outperformance in robotics gives us a high-confidence signal, with a correlation of ρ equals 0.85 for the U.S. industrial sector. And that surging demand for power? That validates a long position in U.S. utilities. All right, shift focus. We are moving from analysis to action. This is the execution briefing. Listen up. The signal from Korea has been validated. It places U.S. grid infrastructure and its key suppliers directly in our crosshairs for the U.S. session. The target is locked. But there is a potential catalyst, or an invalidator. At 0830 Eastern, we get the U.S. Employment Cost Index. This data release has the power to either pour fuel on this fire or completely extinguish the signal. You need to be prepared for either outcome. So these are your levels for the NASDAQ 100 futures. The key pivot to watch is 25,120. A hold above this level validates the positive signal we're seeing from Asia. If that happens, our bull case target is 25,450. On the other hand, a break below 24,900 confirms a trend reversal, and that's your trigger to close out any long positions. So here is your watch list for the open. GEV and Eaton for that direct infrastructure exposure. Tesla is your proxy for robotics data. Nvidia, of course, remains in play. But critically, watch the U.S. utility sector, XLU. If it starts to outperform the broader index, that is our final confirmation. That's the tell. Remember, the entire market narrative is going through a historic inflection point. The old logic of software supremacy is being replaced by a brand new reality, one where intelligent hardware reshapes the entire physical economy. The ultimate takeaway is this. The capital flow is telling us that the next decade won't be about just processing information. It's going to be about using that information to move, to build, and to power the real world. The only question is, are you positioned for it?